And when you say data feeds, because there's a lot that goes into that, right? And you talked about, quick things. Okay, how much equity do you have, or what could you afford? But what goes into that are things like, I guess, of course, the value of the home, the rates that would be relevant, the term of the mortgage, what type of mortgage, what kind of, all these different things, right? So I feel that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that, the data is a huge piece of this. And I think that it's been, again, correct me if I'm wrong, about a huge focus for you is getting that data right. Because I think, for people listening, when they hear something like that, they think, okay, amazing, that sounds great. But the last thing I want to do is send out an email that says, hey, you have, millions of dollars of equity. And then, they call and they say, okay, well, actually, no, I don't know why that said that. You have, I don't know, $50,000 of equity. Or I don't know, I'm making an
Yeah,
extreme
yeah.
example to make the point, right? But I think that that is something like that anybody listening, as long as if they had that level of confidence, I think it's such a no-brainer to have this type of engagement because it is so powerful. But I think that's always the hesitation in people's mind when they think about this stuff. So talk to me a little bit that, like, is my assumption right that the data is so important, and how have you kind of addressed that or thought through that?
Yeah, well, you are right. The data integrity is the biggest challenge of building this product for sure. There's a bunch of different data sources that we have to kind of marry up and make sure they handle all the different edge cases possible. So, we've got a live data feed of mortgage rates from Lender Spotlight. We work
Mm,
with
I'm-
one of the home data providers in Canada to get the price estimates for the home. We have the original mortgage application information from, the mortgage broker when they sign up. And so it's pulling all those things together and keeping them up to date. Now, I think you're right. The data is really important, and that's usually the first question that people ask. And I think
mm,
getting that data accurate is really critical, but it's not the whole story. And I'll tell you why. The mistake I've seen sometimes in some similar types of products is if all of the emphasis is just on getting the data perfect, it's not enough. The reason why is that information really requires context to be understood, I mean to say, in the right way by the end consumer. So if we give you a number, but we're not setting the right expectation about what that number represents, it can cause problems. And so the framing of all of this information when we deliver to the client is this is a starting point for a conversation. This information is
yeah,
directionally accurate, but it's not going to be perfect. These are estimates. And if you want to understand the actual rate that you would, qualify for or the, actual equity that you could take out, contact your mortgage broker. And so I think it's important, but it's not the whole story. And the mistake I've seen some folks make when signing up and starting to use a product sometimes is getting stressed over their own data to the point of like
yeah.
fractions of a decimal when it's like, look, I, the homeowner, I don't care. I want to know approximately what my home is worth. And not only that, but what can I do? Like, can I afford a bigger home yet? Yes or no? Should I be trying to refinance or do I have a good rate? Yes or no? Those types of things. So, to sum up, the data is really important. It's the biggest challenge of building this product. And I think it's the biggest challenge for people that want to start using it as well is getting the right understanding about what their clients actually care about, which isn't perfection in the data. It's what can I do?
I feel like that's such a good point. And, from our experience on the CRM side of things, it's absolutely the case where we see people, sign up for Blue and, they get their data, let's say 90 to 95% right. And if they just would flick the switch and start some of the things we do, they could start, seeing the benefit of all the things that Blue does. So without going there, but we also see those same people then get hung up and say, there's this 5% that's still missing. I'm going to take months and months and months to get this 5% right. When at the end of the day, again, going back to maybe being obsessed about the problem, not the solution, it's like, what's the real problem that I'm trying to solve for my clients, right? Is it having a pinpoint accuracy of exactly how much they can afford? Or like you said, is it these bigger swings to say, can I afford a new home? Should I have that conversation with it? And I think, yeah, so I think that's very true. And I love the way you put it.